And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Once again, we greatly appreciate everybody that listens to the show. Had some great comments and good conversations this week. Reach out to the hotline. We'd love to connect with you, 813-917-1894, and online at consumerqb.com. 917-1894. That's your Tampa Bay phone number for the Consumer Advocate Hotline. We'd love to help you, put you in touch with 80 different categories of consumer advocates here in Tampa Bay. Anything you have coming up, we can probably help you with it. So reach out. We've got attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of great business owners on the program. And today we've got three of our best as well. Dan Menikheim in the house, Prohealth Pest Control, as well as SEC Inspections. We're going to have Doug Clark, H'Ours Creole, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's going to have one of his special guests with him from the ranch that he buys a lot of his beef from. We're going to talk about supply chain with Doug Clark, and Janette Sawdon as well, Febre Framworks, the official real estate photographer of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we've got a great lineup for you. Plus, feel-good story of the day. Boca Raton girl spreads kindness through artwork in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. Feel-good story coming up here on the show. And we'd like to give a quick shout-out to Ramin Kazami, Heights Soft Wash, Pressure Wash. He does a great job on pressure washing any of your real estate properties. Ramin Kazami, Heights Soft Wash is the company, and he knows what he's doing. He's not going to peel your paint. He's not going to damage your plants. HeightsSoftWash.com. Check him out online. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got a big price reduction at 9031 122nd Avenue in Tampa. This is a $3.9 million listing development opportunity that we've got here in Tampa Bay. It's a large piece of land, 15.56 acres, right off of I-75 and 122nd Avenue, Fowler Avenue, basically at 9031 122nd Avenue in Tampa. Beautiful property, great opportunity for investors, developers, builders, entrepreneurs, getting calls about truck stops, multifamily. Great opportunity. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
Dan Menikheim, welcome in, sir.
How you doing?
Excellent. Blessed and highly favored, my friend. And yourself?
Yeah, doing great. The market after the storm came in for us, it settled in a little bit. Now, I'm not saying we're back to where we were maybe a year ago, but business is doing very well, and we're very fortunate.
Good to hear.
The phone is ringing, so. Good
to hear it, yeah. And your lovely wife, Melissa, is all over the place. I see her networking everywhere, very involved, does a great job. So husband, wife, run company, family business.
Yep.
It's awesome, man. Being able to work with your family. I work with my wife as well.
It's awesome most of the time.
Most of the time. There you go. I like that. All right. So, Dan, tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing. Like, we like to talk about the consumer advocate tips, things that people, should stay away from. Here's what I see happen with other people. What are some of the best consumer tips or maybe even misnomers that you see when it comes to inspections, inspecting homes or commercial properties? And then we'll talk about the Prohealth pest control side as well later.
Sure. Well, one of the best, when you buy a new home, construction, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Commercial or residential, you got a warranty on it. I just did one 2 days ago, and the water heater wasn't hooked up correctly. And the fee for this house was $350, which is it's like our minimal charge for like a new constructed home, and it doesn't even, it takes a couple hours to go through it. But I found that the minimum that'll have to happen is they're going to have to change the pipes side, but then they're going to also have to change the shutoff valve. And I heard the gurgling because it's going up the wrong pipe. I'm not going to get too technical on it.
Yeah.
Just it's important, and it may have not been caused. You may have not even noticed it with an ear because all the fixtures work.
Right.
But in the future, it causes worse problems after the warranty's up.
That's a good point.
I think it was worth the money just for that fine. Plus, I found dozens of other things that the homeowner might not ever see, like little electrical problems and stuff like that. So even on a well-built home from a builder. And the builder, I talked to the builder yesterday. I also called the guy up, talked to him, told him a few things. It's all for him. Everybody's a subcontractor underneath him. So all he's got to do is call the plumber, call the finisher, call the painter. That's all he has to do to get it fixed. It's just a phone call.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not even. Probably just sends them the list.
Yeah, text them. Get your butt over there to XYZ Street.
Yeah.
Dan Menikheim here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, SEC Inspection Services. And that's a great point. A lot of times people just trust the builder. They don't even really think about getting their own home inspection. And you've got to have your advocate on your side, especially with new construction. And the key is also right before they do the drywall. They call that the rough-in or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely an important issue to find some issues with structure and stuff like that. You get to see the framing. Those are kind of fun for me. Get out the blueprints. See what's going on. I don't even mind doing it. You know what I mean? I do charge. No offense. Yeah. But yeah, I like that. I'm kind of a construction nerd. I used to do framing.
Okay.
And trim carpentry and stuff like that. Many years ago.
Many moons ago, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's a key point. New construction. In Tampa Bay is still out there. I guess it's slowed a little bit. New construction starts.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, some of the building and construction starts are, and with the rise in interest rates, that's affecting the buyer pool. Less people are, into that market, and we still have a lack of inventory, though. That's a lot of times when I'm talking to sellers, I talk to a lot of expired listings, canceled listings in the morning specifically, and the conversation comes up. They say, well, the market's gone to what. It's not a good market anymore. And I say, well, if you actually look at the numbers, it still is a good market. There's only 1.5 months supply of inventory, and that's a general statement for Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough County, around 1.5 months supply.
That makes sense to me. I don't have those statistics all the time, like you just said, but from the way they book, it dipped during the hurricane. Now it's back. It's not, it's not out of control. Like it was, we almost couldn't breathe. We were so busy at a time. But we're working full time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not dead here.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are buying homes. And to me, it looks like a buyer's market.
It's shifting. Yeah. It's shifting that way.
Yeah, but not yet.
Right.
The sellers, the houses seem to go quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it's priced right. The problem is some sellers are still, stuck to a certain dollar. I love it when I talk to a seller and they say, well, I got to get this much out of it, and this is what I need. And it's like, okay, well, we can't sell a property based on what you need and what you think it's worth.
Yeah.
It's got to be based on market economics.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what else do you see, when it comes to, so we talked a little bit about new construction. What are you seeing in a resale? Let's say a property's 15, 20 years old. What are some of the key components? What are you checking out, and what are some of the misnomers there?
In a 15-year-old property, unless the homeowner got in there and did some electrical work himself or some construction work himself, you're going to find some wood rot in the soffit sieve. The electric should be good. It depends on the roof. What we're seeing a lot of insurance companies. We've discussed this before.
Yeah.
They don't like roofs that only have 5 years life on it.
Right.
So if you got a property that's 15, 16 years old, let's hope it's going to have a new roof on it.
Right.
That's the only, because the insurance part is hard on it. But, water heaters are going to be older. What I'm seeing now is I think they're made out of the country or something, but water heaters, I've seen them like 30, 40 years old. That's rare.
Right.
But now I've been to a house that's only brand new house, well, a 10-year-old home, and I go there and the water heater's leaking.
They're just not built like they used to be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that never, one of the things I probably said on the show many times before, I'm telling the younger generation, things aren't built like they used to be.
Yeah.
The older people, when I was younger, told me the same thing. There never seems to be an end to that.
Right.
It's, and that's true.
Corporate profits. And Greg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, he's our expert in the AC heating and cooling space. And Greg talks about the same thing. He said, look, a lot of these, different machines, they're just not lasting like they used to. They're not built the same way because I guess it's corporate skimming. They're trying to use inferior products, cheaper products to compete with the globalization that's happening in some markets.
Yeah. We're seeing stuff is not lasting as long. It may even be more energy efficient But then that comes with appliances and stuff like that. And what I would add on any home, if you go into a home and the appliances aren't newer or they're not, some people buy their appliance secondhand.
Right.
You know, if they're rehabbing a house, they'll buy the appliance secondhand. There's a reason why they're secondhand. You may be getting one because somebody upgraded their appliances to stainless steel or something like that.
Right.
Or you may be getting someone's problem.
Right.
Because we see, you know, what we're seeing sometimes is we go there and the stove's not working, but it might have been working the day of that, and then or stoves that break soon after the people move in. You know?
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's an easy fix too. You know, heating element or something.
Sometimes it's very easy.
Yeah. Sometimes something went out,
but it's still broken and people get upset.
Right.
And a new air conditioner, refrigerator, and stuff like that. Are they going to last 15, 20 years?
Right.
I doubt it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you got the option for home warranties too. You can put home warranties on. You might see that come back more and more. These, you know, with the shift in the market, that was a kind of a thing of the past. 6-8 months ago, people wouldn't really negotiate that into the deal. But for a new buyer, for a first-time buyer, that's a good idea because it gives you that basically an insurance policy on the major components.
And appliances are expensive.
Yeah, they've gone up.
Everything's expensive.
They've gone up, man.
Appliances are, That's
everything.
We bought some and it was, and they were nothing. I mean, they're nice. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to go to like a top of the line, it's like, maybe I don't want to buy a $4,000 or $5,000 refrigerator.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. It's not. I don't need to be able to reach in through the front door, through the second little door that I can see through to grab a bottle of water. I'll just open the big door or whatever, right?
Right.
Those little features.
Little features that
and I don't need to control it on my smartphone either, Dan.
No. I know somebody who's got a TV on theirs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's nice. You can watch the game in the kitchen, but, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're talking with Dan Menikheim here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, a top 100 realtor team here in Tampa Bay, and we work with top-notch supporting companies. Dan and Melissa own their own company here. It's SEC Inspections. So if you're selling a property, buying a property, great time. I always encourage sellers to do it as well, especially if it's, that 10 to 15-year range or more. Seller inspections are a good idea. It's going to help you. It's going to help you, eliminate that second round of negotiations. That's what typically happens, right? You see it, and you're probably caught up in the middle of it sometimes too, right? Buyer agents, listing agents, kind of in the.
Yeah, I give the roof's 15 years old, but it's a 30-year shingle, and it looks fine.
Yep.
I don't know what to do about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can only put that's what I see.
You estimate it, right?
And I estimate it, right? It may have 10 years life on it. We don't warranty systems. But you estimate it, and then somebody wants you to put a new roof on, and it's like, well, if the roof's got 10 years life on it, why are you ripping the roof off?
Right. Why would I do that?
Yeah. So, we get caught in that, or the electric's fine, or it's not fine. Somebody will, and then somebody will be like, okay, well, good. Since I'm the one that's looking out for their best interest,
right.
I'm not going to try to make them replace an electrical panel that doesn't need replaced, but I can mention to them that, hey, this panel's 50 years old. It's original with the home. It's not a good one. Yeah. You probably should replace it if you want to sell your home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's certain boxes too that are kind of almost blacklisted, right? There's a certain name. I forgot the name of it.
Sylvania, Federal Pacific, Zinsco.
So there's multiple ones that are just like, hey, these are kind of outdated.
Yeah, they're usually automatic, and it's amazing. I still see them almost definitely weekly.
Yeah.
But I used to see them daily. So.
But those are the old school ones, right?
Yeah, they should be updated.
They're getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Got
for
it.
Sure. No matter how old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears. Talk about Prohealth Pest Control, your other side, your sister company, so to speak. Prohealth Pest Control. Anything seasonal, topical right now? What are you seeing the most of right now?
Well, with the lack of rain, it's the lack of insects. So the calls do drop. The cooler, once it cools down, you automatically know the phone. Maybe not that day, but the following 3 days there'll be less calls.
Yeah.
With bug problems, it's just the way it goes. The cooler the weather, the drier the weather, the less bug problems you're going to have.
Right.
Because they spike up during the warmer season, and then with heavy rains they just flourish. Yeah. And they go to higher ground, and they end up in your house, and they cause problems and stuff like that. But fortunately for the pest control companies out there, plenty of bugs.
Yeah.
All year round.
It's Florida, baby.
Florida, yeah. The weather, nice weather comes, nice insects. You know? They like it too. Yeah.
Is it a cockroach or a palmetto bug? Depends on who you're impressing, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's just a palmetto bug.
Well, I don't, the sugar ants, there's some names out there, sugar ants, palmetto bug. I just roll with it. Yeah. After doing this for so long, I know what it's probably an American roach if they said palmetto bug.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You know what was cool too, Dan? I was watching the news yesterday, and there was an interesting, talking about migrations and seasonal things that happen. I think it was in New Zealand or Australia somewhere. There was these crabs. They had to shut down the road because these crabs were migrating. I guess the rainy season had hit, and they were migrating to the water, like literally from the forest across the road.
Oh, really? Oh, they're laying eggs and stuff like that, or
something
whatever.
Like that.
Yeah,
it was amazing. But that's all you saw for miles was these crabs just going across the road.
Yeah, they might flatten a tire.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it was interesting, because I guess they're going to be, spawning and all that good stuff. But all right, Dan. So final thoughts for you. Dan Menikheim, he's the owner of SEC Inspection Services, also Prohealth Pest Control, longtime friends of the program right here locally. Support the local economy by supporting companies like his here and supporting the show, supporting the family. 813-917-1894. Call the hotline 813-917-1894. We'll put you in touch with Dan and his team. Final thoughts and website where you want folks to find you.
Well, ProHealthPestControl.com, SECInspectionServices.com. Either one of those will give you some more information on us, where you can see us, and then you'll have all the information. You don't even have to call us. There's definitely, you can just email us from there or check a couple of boxes, and then we'll be in touch.
Streamline the process.
Yep.
I like that. More and more people doing that. What percentage do you think are calling now versus doing the internet thing?
It's probably 50-50.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, we get stuff all the time through both companies.
Yeah. Just be it like boom. Here's
and if the realtor books it, it's definitely that's like if it's a realtor, it's more like 80-20.
More automated.
80% of them are just they're on their phone.
Yep.
Just trying to book an inspection.
Streamlining it. Yeah. I love it. All right, Dan, always a pleasure catching up with you. Appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah. Have a great day.
All right, awesome. Hey, taking a quick break. We're going to come back with Doug Clark, H'Ours Creole, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. If you haven't stopped by, they're in Tarpon Avenue right there in Tarpon Springs. Awesome restaurant, amazing food, live entertainment, all kinds of good stuff. Coming up, Doug Clark here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, waiting on Doug Clark to give us a call in here to the hotline. But we are in studio here. We love to help you win in your real estate deals, of course, when you're buying, selling, or investing. And giving a quick shout out to Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the program here in Tampa Bay. Discovery Golf Cars, formerly known as Golf Cart Depot. They've got the Easy Go, the Star EV, Cushman. They offer new and pre-owned. You can rent or buy. And they are a great company to work with. Talk to Ethan or Marty over there at Discovery Golf Cars. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers. All right, one of our hot listings here is 1618 West De Leon property here in South Tampa. Hyde Park, walkability. You talk about the walkability in those urban areas. This is a great opportunity. 1618 West De Leon. This is a Mediterranean Palace corner unit, beautiful property, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, close to 2,300 square foot. Townhome here in South Tampa, 2-car garage, plenty of storage, and of course you got the granite countertop, stainless steel appliances, wood cabinetry. 1618 West De Leon Street in Tampa. Beautiful property, one of our hot listings right here in Tampa Bay. It's walkability down in Hyde Park. You walk to all the wonderful bars and restaurants down there and enjoy the best of South Florida living. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
All right, Doug Clark, welcome to the program, sir.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. And yourself?
Pretty good. Hanging in there. Enjoying this beautiful weather we got going on down here right now.
Absolutely. While it lasts, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, do we have a special guest with you today?
We don't. He had something come up with his, we can talk about it later, but he couldn't get on the air. He wants to get on next time, but he's got a lot of things in the works. We're talking about my buddy Doug Ruth over at Ruth's Family Farms in Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, so, we got some stuff in the pipeline here, very exciting for him and his partner over there, Jim Brinkley, who breeds, who's getting him his cattle, and he breeds them and feeds them. And, just to go over our program with these guys, these guys are going to be certified Black Angus, coming from Missouri, and to go against the grain of what's going on out there with the beef market. I kind of just fell in my lap. I was deer hunting out there on a friend's property, and and I made some burgers, and I was just, amazed at how great the product was, and I was, asked him if he cut some pork in it, and he's like, nope, it's all ground beef, and I went toward the plant, and seeing cattle going through a conveyor belt with X-rays, checking the marbleization on the beef before it was processed, depending on which way it went, that's where where it was getting processed, but what these guys are doing, they're going to be supplying, they already do supply us. We get that beef right now, we're going through, a small mom and pop restaurant from a small, it's not really that small of a farm, but, it's a great operation, 5-generation family. They grow their own feed. They know that they got names for the babies, all that good stuff. Some people might not like that, but, everybody's got to eat beef. And, you go to the store right now and, take a look at what you're paying, market, but they're not getting that on their side, because of some stuff that's going on out there. So we're just trying to help each other out, and, it's going to be certified Black Angus. It's in the works. It's a huge accomplishment on their end, USDA approved, and to be able to say that for us here at the restaurant, and, we know where it's coming from. We know who touches it. It's all, there's no added hormones, no antibiotics. It's all natural feed. It's just a high quality product, and it's very exciting.
I love it, man. Supply chain. I want to talk to you about supply chain as well. We know some businesses are still being affected by the supply chain due to the lockdowns and the COVID restrictions, the vaccine restrictions, things of that nature, mandates. USDA approved beef, H'Ours Creole. Doug Clark, I want to ask you a little bit more about what does that mean when you talk about, you hear the different cuts like prime and USDA approved. I want to know what that means. We're going to talk to Douglas Clark here on the flip side of this break. H'Ours Creole, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show right there in Tarpon Springs. Awesome food. If you haven't checked them out, Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, excellent food. You got to go over there and visit. And also coming up later in the program, our feel-good story of the day, Boca Raton girl spreads kindness through artwork in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, Knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, featuring our real estate listings live on air. Help our sellers profit more and sell faster. The idea is more exposure equals higher sales prices. It's real simple. The more people that know about your product, you're going to sell it faster for more money. 18735 Rogerland is one of our listings in Pasco County. Beautiful property here, completely rebuilt, renovated. Great opportunity to own pretty much a brand new property here, new home. 18735 Rogerland Road, Spring Hill. Almost 1,700 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. You got a mother-in-law suite there, no HOA, over an acre of land, just over an acre of land, granite countertops, tile flooring, new roof, AC, washer, dryer, all new. Beautiful property, 18735 Rogerland Road in Spring Hill. Also, got a beautiful property at 202 Westchester. This is a property in Hillsborough County. Now, Westchester is a great opportunity here as well. Almost 3,500 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage. It's on a cul-de-sac. You've got a saltwater pool that is screened in. Stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, brand new roof and AC. 202 Westchester Hills Lane, Valrico, Florida. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, I want to play a quick clip here about the economy, and I'm going to go back to Doug Clark, H'Ours Creole, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, coming up here. This is Steve Cortez on economics.
The economic news continues to be terrible, and Steve, in less than a fortnight, we're going to reclaim our republic, and we're going to begin the hard work of saving this country. And a huge part of that effort is, of course, going to be rebuilding the economy, because Americans, particularly working-class Americans, are suffering miserably right now. But the pain extends from Main Street to Wall Street to big tech. And right now, we're going to show some charts right now, both Microsoft and Google. And I know those are not companies that we're fans of, but they're still very indicative and reflective of what's going on in the U.S. economy. Both of those companies, mammoth companies, open up down 7% on the day. You don't typically see those kinds of moves, Steve, in mega cap, very mature companies like Google and Microsoft, but we're seeing it today. But let's get to the economic backdrop. If we go to chart number 1, I want to show refinances. So let's start at the consumer level. Here's what's going on. The refinance index right now, refinancing mortgages out there, because of interest rates spiking, because of Joe Biden's created crisis of inflation, refis have absolutely plunged.
Yeah, so refis are dead. The housing market is slowing, and they're also planning for a 75 basis point increase in November, and probably around a 50 basis points. They're going to start tapering back in December. So how's that going to affect the economy? And, of course, Biden says the economy's strong as hell, he says, but we all know that that's not the case. Doug Clark, H'Ours Creole, local restaurant owner. What's your take on the economy, and how's that affecting your business and supply chain?
Over the last couple months, typically, everybody complains about August and September. And the last 2 years, obviously, it's tough for us to compare apples to apples or oranges to oranges, so to speak, because, we opened in 19, just before the pandemic started, the last quarter of 19.
Right.
So we came in, and we stuck to our guns, and we could have taken the easy way out and closed the doors, and and went and did something and figured it out. But there's a lot of things involved, and we had a passion and a drive behind it. But going forward, August and September were pretty good for us, and this year's probably been the closest we could compare anything to. And August, September have been been up and down, up and down, up and down. We're not sitting here that we're scrambling or nothing like that, but you can definitely see, especially on the weeknights. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to be we're packed, full house. But I think you're seeing a lot of people that with that disposable income kind of holding it back a little bit, because there's an uncertain out there that nobody really knows what's going to happen. Instead of going out on Monday and Tuesday, kind of holding back a little bit, pulling back some money. I'd be surprised to see what happens here for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's coming up, so there's not a lot of disposable income out there. People are scrambling where they're going to figure how they're going to get. And there's a lot of people right now that are back to living paycheck to paycheck, and they're probably still getting paid. Let's not beat around the bush here. Minimum wage just jumped up to $11 an hour here in Florida. So yeah, that's but even still with that, that's a tough number to live off, especially with the prices that are going on out there. So yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle bus out there.
Yeah, the struggle's
for sure.
The struggle's real, especially for the working class, the blue collar class, the small business owners, the middle, lower to middle income folks. It's tough out here, and they keep talking about, just buy a electric vehicle. These types of things are what you're hearing from the snooty elitist in D.C. and people are really hurting, and they're especially with the election, they're the number one talking point for the left right now is abortion. It's like, really, that's your winning policy that you want to keep talking about. People are hurting. People can't they can't support their there's going to be record numbers of people losing their power in the winter this year because of skyrocketing rates, cost of fuel, cost of everything's going up. And yeah, so how's that particularly affecting your supply chain? Then I also wanted to get to, what does it mean, the difference between USDA choice and prime? You see those different cuts of meat.
Well, we'll start with the cuts of meat. That's my bread and butter here. It's all based off of the marbleization. There's a process that they go through. The beef gets graded. So it has to go through to be a distributor, to sit there and say you're Black Angus, you can't just put Black Angus on your menu. If you're listing Black Angus, it's got to be a certified Black Angus dealer. If you're listing a USDA prime, that's what you're if you're not selling that and you're selling it as prime, you're lying to your guests. There's a whole grading process based off the fat marbleization of each cut of meat or that cow, which gives it that grade, so Choice Select, Prime, Black Angus Prime, or just straight up Black Angus. There's really no difference in the cuts of meat. It's all based off the marbleization and the contents of the fat. And that's where you get it. You're not going to get something where you can't even chew through it. The higher the fat content on a 32 ounce T-bone, you should be able to just almost use a butter knife to cut right through it.
Right.
So it's gonna, and that's what you're looking for.
Right.
That's the whole reason we're. It's super exciting. I don't know I should do some research, but to sit here and say that we have our own farm in Missouri that delivers our meat, and they're it's not happening like tomorrow. There's a whole process these guys got to go through. They got to enlist in it. They got to get inspected. The SDA, sometimes they'll set up a shop right in your store. And they specifically grade specific cuts of meat. Nothing's allowed to go inside there.
Wow.
But to sit there and say that, there's no added hormones, no antibiotics, it's all natural beef coming from the great heart of the Midwest, that's a huge deal. And, just very thankful that we came across it, versus, going through a high-end distributor around here or a big shop. And, you want to get a nice 20-ounce, T-bone prime, you're looking at 21, 22, 23. I haven't bought one in, 7 months. I don't really know. I don't even look because we have our own distributor now. But,
yeah,
it's going to be up there. So that's our cost. That's our cost. That's what we're getting. But we have to use that and charge, put a premium on it, what it's worth, the ingredients. There's a whole process. You just don't times it by 3 and expect to make money. You break it down by the cost of the item per ounce, and there's a whole process to it. You just can't throw a price on the menu and say, okay, here it is. Well, that piece of beef, if you sell 20 of them, you got to use it to pay your employees, you keep your electric on, to purchase alcohol, all that stuff. It all plays into a factor. That's why, restaurants are, it's a huge challenge. I really feel that at some point in your career, you should jump into a restaurant and just see what it takes, the
exactly.
continuity of everybody in the place to make it run smoothly. It's just, that's where the controlled chaos comes from. So it's just
one of the toughest businesses too.
Job, yeah.
Yeah, one of the toughest businesses to run is a restaurant, and a lot of people realize that. And then hear the statistics about how many business owners they start a business and then fail. I mean, the numbers are crazy, but add that into the restaurant sector, the numbers are even more.
Well, yeah, and then now you're jumping into it, especially if you're opening up a restaurant now or this and that, not to scare people, because you can make money. You just got to have a nice system and game plan in place, and
right.
But with the price of everybody's charging, $8, $9, $10 for a fuel charge, or if they might not even show it on your bill, but they're tacking it in there somewhere, but which, they're driving around, they're paying this stuff, and look at the price of paper and, all that little odds and ends stuff that is just going up that, you don't even, you're not really used to paying attention to, but now you have to. Everything's going up, and, you just got to be aware of what you're doing and be able to shop around and find it,
We got to take a break here. We got to take a break, Doug. Doug Clark, H'Ours Creole. Check him out online. He's got an awesome restaurant over there on Tarpon Springs, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Tarpon Springs, H'Ours Creole, Douglas Clark. Always a wealth of information, Doug. Wish we had more time. Thank you very much. Appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Take care. And I remember it kind of had me thinking about that show on TV, Impractical Jokers. They played a joke on some of the patrons and said, "Oh, you got an excessive cleanup fee or messy fee." Just funny, kind of a funny thought there popped in my mind. All right, coming back, we've got Janette Sawdon Febre Framworks, the official real estate photographer of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Febre Framworks, Manny and Sean Febre. Shout out to their whole team. They do such a great job. We'll be right back. Plus our feel good story of the day coming up.
Hey, everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy, Brandon Rhymes, a Consumer Quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, top 100 ranked real estate team. We can help you out nationwide, by the way. We have a nationwide, worldwide network through Keller Williams Realty. So anybody buying, selling, or investing, any state, any country, we can help you. We can refer that person out. Find a great Keller Williams agent wherever you are looking to buy, sell, or invest.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this is our feel-good story of the day. A Boca Raton girl spreads kindness through artwork in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. She's on a mission to spread kindness, and she's combining her love for art and compassion to help those suffering from the aftermath of Hurricane Ian on Florida's west coast. She says, quote, "When I create these, I know I'm helping others," said Ayel Morgenstern. The 11-year-old has been selling her artwork to raise money and donate those on the West Coast. Even at such a young age, she said after seeing the devastation, she immediately felt compelled to help in some way. She's already raised over $700, and she says her message with her art and action is one world coming together to make a change. So there's your feel-good story of the day. I love that. Awesome, good stuff there. And we're going to the phone lines here. Janette Sawdon Febre Framworks, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. How's everyone today?
My pleasure. Doing great and blessed and highly favored. And what's new in your world?
We just launched this new product, virtual renovation, which is pretty cool. Like you could take any house, a house in studs or a complete, trashed house, and you completely renovate it and make it modernized.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, new technology, new things to add to listings. So
that's really neat. Yeah, so you can literally virtually stage in a sense, and you're showing the floor plan changes. Will it actually do the floor plan changes too?
Well, it doesn't change the floor plan. It's the image, the photo.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, it's a virtual renovation, right? So it's like head to toe, like someone came in and just completely renovating it.
Okay.
So you can see what it would look like. You could use it in that sense, like future. Like if for a contractor, if someone came in, completely renovated the house, what it would look like in that sense.
Very cool.
You could use it to show, like for new construction, like if you're to get a buyer prior to actually listing the property. So,
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great idea. I love that.
A lot of benefits to the virtual renovation. It is pricey, but it's definitely, I think it's the cost will definitely, you're going to get the great investment out of it,
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's all about the marketing side, getting that exposure. I love also when we're able to virtually stage some of the photography. It really makes a difference when you're able to kind of highlight and stage the size of the room. You're able to virtually put in furniture, bedding, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it gives buyers a sense of what that room can hold. It could be sometimes unconventional, like a space in the back that, could be a family room, but it can also be a bonus room. You can make it a game room. So it gives buyers, that more creative, like, what would my furniture look like here?
Right.
It gives them that layout already. So it just makes it easier on the mind for them to visualize themselves in a vacant house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Janette Sawdon. She is the office manager of Febre Framworks, and you've heard Sean Manny Febre on the program over the years. They own a awesome company here in Tampa Bay and across the state of Florida now, doing a lot of big things and growing. And what are you seeing out there, Janette? How's the market pace? Are you seeing any kind of a slowdown just with the sheer numbers of volume kind of tapering off a little bit?
A little bit, but I think it's, it's the holiday season coming up. I honestly can't believe that I'm even saying that. This year flown by so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, during this time we already see a slowdown because of the holidays coming up. But it hasn't been much. I have seen a lot of agents right now are doing a lot more than just photos. They're realizing that the houses aren't going as quickly as they were, right? It's no longer a weekend or 1 or 2 days on the market. They're on the market for a little bit longer. So they're doing more. They're doing video, Matterport, the staging. They're doing more to attract buyers to come see the house.
Yeah, absolutely. You're putting more effort in, to notice that the days on market are going up. Some price cuts are happening. The buyer pool has shrunk a little bit because of the Federal Reserve and some of their feckless leadership up there in D.C. It looks like in November they're projecting another 75 basis points, another 50 scheduled. So a little bit of a tapering, hopefully, at least in December, because if we throw too much cold water on this real estate market, the mortgage industry, I believe that's going to really send us into even more of a deeper recession, potentially to a depression. But we're talking with Janette Sawdon here, General Manager of Febre Framworks here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I love the fact that you can fly drones now and get that beautiful overhead shot, kind of highlight some of the water bodies or golf course views that you have as well.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, obviously, showing off the nearby water, waters, or if it's like near downtown or something, showing that off is definitely going to add to the listing. But also, I think if it has like a good amount of land, that's a huge plus to show that off with the drone, or to show that the neighbors are not so close to each other. That's a huge plus. But the drone has so much. So much to it. Like, we can show off if it has a new roof, if it has solar panels, show that off as well. So it's a really cool. It's a cool little toy that you could play with. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, but we are professionals. We're licensed. We have our Part 107. We're insured. So I mean, these are professional toys, right? that they play with.
Yeah, and you have to do that now, right? FAA.
Oh my gosh, yes, the FAA. They change our regulations, I feel, daily. We have a map that we look at when we're scheduling a home to see if it's nearby, the airport or hospital even. We have restrictions that we can't fly near that space. And if we want to fly, close to like the Air Force Base or the airport, it's in a restricted zone. I have to reach out to the FAA and get approval before we can even do that. And sometimes that takes a month or two to even get approval from them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's interesting.
In this market, agents aren't, willing to wait that time. So they're just like, listen, if you can do it, great. If not, then, the next one. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janette, do you also do other types of real estate, photography or videography for, businesses or other types? Weddings?
Yeah. What's becoming really popular now, too, that I've seen is agent-led videos. So like video walkthroughs of homes and even commercial buildings we've done, or businesses, talking about the listing, talking about the business, while we're showing off the video of, that listing or business. Those are really fun. Fun and cool. It's an all-day production, I can tell you that. So,
wow.
It's about depending on the size of the house, but 4 hours at minimum that we're at somewhere to do those agent-led videos. Just because we have to, depending on how the agent is prepared, we have to take multiple takes, and so those are really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all part of the business model these days. You have to get the exposure. You've got to syndicate the content. That's what we do with our show here. We syndicate it to Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku on the TV side, the streaming side through Binge Networks. And then we're also, of course, utilizing the content that we're creating on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, True Social, all the different sites.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's really popular right now. Social media, putting yourself out there as an agent, you need to do that, right, to attract those followers and those buyers to come in and take a look at those listings. So you just got to do a bit more right now than just photos. So with the video, but you can also do Matterport, which is I like to call it a 24/7 open house. So if you can virtually walk through this house at any time of the day and really look into detail with the house. You can measure inside of this program. You can measure the walls, measure the flooring. If okay, my couch is, 20 feet long, let's say.
Yeah.
You can measure that within, the Matterport space. It's really cool. So it has like that remote feature that takes time away from the agent, so the agent doesn't have to go out to the house to, pull out their measuring tools to measure walls for the required steps in MLS, or for the buyer if they have furniture, oversized furniture, and they want to make sure that their bed frame is going to fit in the room.
Yeah.
That's a huge plus with the Matterport. And again, it's a 24/7 open house, so at any point, out-of-state buyers, international buyers can take a look at this Matterport and really get the sense of the house.
Yeah, I love it. The Matterport tour. We're putting that up on the screen here. Our producer has that up on the show on the screen. Yeah, it's just amazing technology, and you utilize that because a lot of the buyers are from the Northeast, the Midwest. You know, they're moving to Florida. Maybe they're out of state, out of the country, and they're saying, "Hey, where's everything going to fit? What is the floor plan?" The pictures look beautiful, and I love the fact that we can go up to 100 pictures now on the MLS, and it allows you to really get a room view and different angles from different views and different sides of the yard. And there's so much you can do with photography and making sure your marketing looks good. Janette Sawdon Febre Framworks Consumer Quarterback Show. Janette, how can folks get in touch with you? What's the web address and all the good stuff?
It's FebreFramworks.com. Check it out. There's also a little form on there you can fill out to get our attention. You can also call 813-906-8300. Call or text that number. Or you can email us, booking@FebreFramworks.com. And we have less than an hour response. We're really, really responsive. So.
Yeah, absolutely. First class service, I can tell you that from firsthand experience. Thanks a lot, Janette. Appreciate you.
Of course. Have a good day.
Take care. All right. Hey, another great show. Dan Menikheim, Doug Clark, Janette Sawdon, Consumer Quarterback Show. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1, Instagram, Twitter, Getter, all the major sites, and consumerqb.com. Take care.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.